I've used a clickbait title to bring you to my channel, but please don't be changing your fuse board because it's Part P, notifiable to the building regulations and only suitable to be carried out by people registered with a competent person scheme that can register their work and be vetted, okay? So watch the video anyway because you're here, so don't worry if I was only joking. It's not a how-to video. Stuff. Get in there. Morning everyone. So today we've got a fuse board consuming it to change. Also got a helper with me today. I'm not sure if he wants to get on camera, but I've had him all week. Today's Friday and he's been a good help, so appreciate that if you're watching. So yeah, we're going to head over and get him now, and then I'll show you around the job. It's an old fuse board, and then I've got some old loft lighting and stuff to strip out. I think it's like a DIY wiring job by somebody. So we'll strip that out. I'll set him up in the loft. Once everything's dead, he can then strip cables out and stuff. He's perfectly adequate to do that. So I'll set him up in the loft, and then I'll set on with the consuming it change. Right, here we go, we're in the loft. So the lady's having the roof done, so all this stuff that does numerous lighting and stuff, that's all got to come off, and then there's lots of suspect wiring etc in here. Look, does random lights. So I've got a helper today. He's going to come up here and strip all this out once I've proven dead, and then I'm going to get on with the fuse board. So we'll check back in soon with this, and then I'll set you up. Yeah, okay, so this has all got to go, and then I'll set you up on the laps. Right, so I've started James off in the loft. We've killed the circuit that he's going to be working on. It's a bit weird up there, I'll have to show you in a minute, but it's horrible. So as you can see, the client has kindly cleared the cupboard out for me because I'm doing this board here today. So bonding has been upgraded. We've got a switch here which we'll be changing, obviously. Pablo's going to come in and do that for me, but firstly I need to get all this stuff out of this cupboard. Right, there we go. Cupboard is now a bit cleaner, so we can actually see. So as you can see, we got TNS earthing arrangement. Slightly weird because we have got PME available here. I'm not just going to connect onto it, obviously. We'll do some readings here. I've not done any ICR on this one. There's no time on this. The roof's coming off on Monday, so this has got to be done today. So a lot of the time I like to come in and do any ICR before, but we haven't got the option here. So we've got to change this. This is the old board that's coming out in question. Yeah, can't really tell you much more. A lot of people say, why are you changing that board? Reliable fuses, and the lady's doing a lot more work here. And obviously I don't know if that is incorporated in RCD. I think it is because it's got the reset button on it, but I haven't really looked that much. Let's have a look. 500 to 50, 60 amp, It does test. Anyway, as you can see, there's already bits I don't like. The bell transformer I don't like, and then you've got a little light added in here with a switch and a match jammed into the bit there, so I've got to sort that out as well. I can't leave it like that. Single insulated cable just hanging out of the switch there, so yeah. Anyway, let's get this stripped out. As always, I will jump between, so I've got you on the laps here. I'll jump between. I've isolated here at the minute. I'm just going to prove dead on these tails. These come from the meter. What I am going to have to do, this is a smart meter, but I need to upgrade these tails. Okay, they're only 16mm. I want to put some 25s in there. I'll have to disconnect from here because we can't officially cut this one, look, because he's sealed. And then I can just strip all this out, okay? I'll keep you updated. as always, I've got my proving unit and my test meter just to prove dead on all this, okay? Okay, first thing I have noticed is the lack of fixing on the board. It should obviously have 4 secure fixings in there, and then you can see the flashes on those fuses. That's had a few blows out on there. I'm going to do with this board, as you can see, it's like the tinned coppered earths here, complete mess, so we'll have to sort all this out obviously, but what I'm going to do first is get all my testing done, get all the testing done so at least I know I've got ring final circuits on these two. There's like lighting doubled up there, not sure what that's doing, that's sort of been doubled up into there, but see what we can get done today and get it all tested. Well, as you can see, I've now stripped the main tails out. These come from the meter here, and then out of here they looped out, and weirdly they had a black earth that was connected to the bar there, and there was also an earth unsleeved which went into the earth bar there, so there was 2 earth terminals going to here, so it was some sort of weird RCD setup going on, but that should be in the museum now, shouldn't it? Crabtree Museum. If you want it, Crabtree, let me know. You can have it for £100 along with your old board. I think it's isn't it? No, it's an old Wylex. Okay. So now we're completely safe, dead, proven dead. We're going to now strip this out. Doing some street lighting, not street lighting, but some outside lights, and it started to lash it down, and my tool bag is wet. I should have opened it up last night in the house, but I totally forgot, and it was late. I had to look at a job last night. Got home about 6:30. Yeah. So I didn't have time to sort out the tools, so now they've all got this sort of dewy wetness on them, which obviously isn't good for them, but what do you do, eh? Yeah, so just taking these guards out for now, and then I'll make a note of what these cables are on, they correspond to the old circuit chart there. And then we'll start doing some dead testing, go around and plug everything, etc. I won't obviously document it all because it's too much to document, but you can see the old board here, lots of flashing been going on this one, blowing out, so that's probably a ring circuit. Yeah, luckily someone has upgraded the bonding in this property, just not everything else, so I think it's this guy. Yeah, no extension only, tested, look, still in the old colours though, so must have been a while ago, 06 he did that. Yeah, so no RCD required, 30 milliamp. I don't know what this is. If anyone knows, give me a comment. There's lots of other old school Sparks out there that probably fitted a lot of these, so give us a comment. Yeah, I'll crack on, stick you back on the laps. twisted into one big mass. So what I'm going to have to do now is try and get these all nice and straight. Obviously I've labelled them up to the corresponding breakers that they were in, so I know roughly what they do, but I have to go around and do a lot of testing now before I actually put this board up, because if you put it up now it's going to get in your way, so you're better off doing your testing and getting these all straightened out now. Right, you can see where I'm at with this now. All the cables are now been untwisted, all straightened out. Okay, so now I'm going to go and get my meter, get the new board. Actually I've got the board. We're fitting a Costa copy board today. No, joking. Fuse box, 10-way SPD RCBO. I've got my iPad tester in. There's no point in even trying to do it on the iPad yet because we're just doing readings. Just going to get some end to ends and stuff. Can't know who it is. Let me go around and plug everything, give it a mega 250 first, see what readings we got, and then we can ramp it up to 500 if we're happy. Okay. Trying to carry out some tests on this ring circuits. Continuity test first. So as you can see, I have just marked down what I think I've got. One is a question mark because I can't understand what it is, but I'll find it. So my leads are nulled, and then all I'm going to do is, so number 2, so if you look for number 2, should be a ring final or ring circuit, whatever you want to call it. So there's one end, and then the other end should be somewhere. Where is he? Number 2, so put one on there, and then where is he? Might not be the way it's marked up properly. 3, what's that? No. So it might be a radial, that one. Just said sockets. So we go for number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's a ring. Because that's 7 on my sheet. So eyes together. Yep. We've got a reading there. Don't know if you can see that. 0.25 ohms on the lives. Okay. So that's circuit 7. So I'll go live neutral earth 0.25, and you want the neutrals to be there or thereabouts. So obviously this is twin and earth. We can find the neutral fairly easy because it's in the same corresponding outer sheath. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's that one, and then 7. That one. So that one. It says 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Stupid boy. Where is it? That's that one. And that is 1, 2. There it is. That one. Scared me there for a second. So there we go. Don't know if you can see it again. 0.24. So that's within. 0.24. I'll just do the earths. I think these are slightly smaller, so they will be higher. Okay. Hopefully we've got a full set of ring continuity. That one there, that one there, that one there. It's that one. There we go. There we go. So good readings all round on that one. And the earth 0.38 ohms. Okay. The earths. So 0.38. So what we'll do now is speed up. I won't show you any more. I just need to crack on now. Okay. Just traced out this one, which was number 2 down, and then it's painted white there. Then I'm going to take this off, but I assume it's literally doing one socket. Okay, so the classic, it's doing one socket, and then someone's kindly put a piece of 3-core flex outer sheath on the earth, so we'll leave that off. We'll have to check loads of these and go around and sort these out as well. Little job for James, that. All I'm going to do now is get the board unpacked, and then I've got rear entry on this one. I know A lot of my boards are top entry, so it's quite nice to have the rear entry coming in the back there, so the grommet strip. And the mains tails I'm going to bring surface rather than tucking them behind, because this is still awkward. Bring them surface, and they'll go into the new switch wherever I mount that. Pablo mounts that switch. So as you can see, the new board is a little bit bigger than the old one. So rather than, I see a lot of guys thump these out, put grommet strip, which is fine. But I see a guy on Instagram actually quite interesting. He's drilled individual holes in here, and then he's put the fire grommet. So what do you think I'm going to do? Exactly. So I'm going to cut this little bit of wood out a little bit more. That will give me a tiny bit more length on these cables. I've got to move that bell transformer down and out the way. These are double insulated singles, so they're fine. They're outside the enclosure, which is absolutely fine. But I'm going to move that and relocate it somewhere else, and then mount my new board in that location, and then going to do what that chap did, drill the holes, and rather than having big holes open, that's open, then that is open into the loft. I know a lot of you moan that I do this. I would normally seal these up with not foam but intramiscent mastic, the wart base one, so if there was a fire this would swell up. So I'm not going to do that on this one. I'm going to drill the holes, and then obviously that will be butted up to the ceiling slightly, so if someone wanted to come along later and knock these out, they could quite easily to add extra cables in. But obviously that would be me. That'll be me anyway. So yeah, so I'll crack on. So I was just moving the bow, that went fine, and then the cover's just snapped. So I shall have to get a new one for the client for that. Great. So main tails are in, I've got the RCBOs all in. James is in the loft looking at me. They're all in, cables are all ready. I'm now going to get these all made off, put into here neatly, finish off this. Pablo's coming in to change this for me, and then we're getting there. As you can see, working out these circuits now. I've got a couple of radials that I didn't know what they did. I've got a question mark there. So I've traced him out. It goes through the loft, drops down this wall, and then comes into here, which I assume was the old airing cupboard, because I've now got a boiler in the loft. And he comes in the back there, comes to this one, which does nothing, so I'm going to get rid of that. Loops to here, which does nothing, so that would have been an old immersion and an off-peak maybe, or 2 immersion heaters in a big tank. So a little bit naughty. That light in, you can see that actually loops there from the switch and then goes up the wall. And then someone has added on this cable that goes over this doorway, goes down this doorway, and then if you trace it out, it actually comes through here and just does one double socket down there. So what I'll do is take both of them old fuse spurs off, put 2 blank plates, and I'll put some Wagos in just to keep that socket going for it, and I'll get that Get that grommet back in there, look. Well, all my live and neutral conductors are in. I'll leave it like this, so I've literally cut minimal cable off of these just to get them in. As you can see, they're all in now. So I've worked out what everything is now, which is good. I'm going to get all the earth-in CPCs put away. Pablo's then coming in to do my new meter, and then I'll show you the end result. James has gone to the van to get some bits, which is really handy having someone like that. He's gone to get some blank plates and Wagos, etc., because we need to blank off the old immersion and stuff, so show you that in a sec. The grommets are there. Rather than having like a gaping hole, you've got the grommets actually round the cables, which is quite nice. I think this will be the way if I ever have a back entry. This will be the way.
And then these are 1.2, so not much at all. So starting on 1, and working up to 1.2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. Right, done.
So everyone always asks me what Pablo comes to fit for me. This is a Wylex isolator, 2-pole switch with enclosure to suit meter tails, 100 amp. And this is from Toolstation, yeah? It's like 12 quid. Just went and grabbed this quickly. So Pablo's going to come and fit this up here for me. I don't know, there maybe. Don't need to go there. Just going to go there. So yeah. He's just here actually, so let's just, he doesn't like being on camera, so we'll cut back to it in a minute. Well, I just jumped up in the loft, catch James, see what he's doing. I'm joking, he's done a good job. It's about 6 foot odd. Makes me look like a short ass. So he stripped all the crap out for me, look, he's just left it there. So there's no loose ends now. The only loose end was here, which came from this junction box. That's where I've just been working, that's the hatch into the old board, and there's all the cables. Completing it a mess, look at it. So to come back at another time and tidy this up, because I've got to rewire this loft because they're having a new roof and she's getting it all insulated, etc. So that was our only loose end in there, so we've disconnected it, and that's that little dodgy cupboard light, which I'm going to go and strip out now and then do that at a later date. So let's get the hell out of here, James. Get this stuff out. Right, board's now done. As you can see, I disconnected that little light. I'll have to come back at some point and redo this. Probably just put a pull cord in here with this get a new light or whatever. Board's done, not labelled yet. It's all done, it's all tested, it's all on. I've just got to stick some labels on there. I've got to come back and sort of doorbell out because it's not working. Run out of time now. James is gone. Oh, I've lost James. Hello, James. He's gone. So yeah, I've lost him. He's been a great help this week. So we'll see. You might see him again on the channel. You never know. It was short and sweet. So that's all done now. TNS here. It's a good reading. 0.25. Superb. Yeah. I'm not going to walk around. That's it. So I'll see you in a minute. So obviously I've not come and done any ICR on this, but how the hell would you get that off? How would you code that? They've put the switches, that's obviously the fan, and the architrave is covering the switch. So how would you get to that to check it and the socket? Look. How? Can't, can you? Hammer time. Forgot to add that was those 2 old spurs there, look. So that's just got 2 blank plates. I got the grommet in there. That just feeds one socket in the lounge there. So what I was doing there is just checking the RCD functionality, and there we go. ×5, highest reading is 27 milliseconds there, and on the iPad we just go through ×5, 27 milliseconds. AFDD, not done. Right, I'm just going to work my way through this now, doing some live testing, and then I'll see you in a minute. Doing some testing and I couldn't figure out where the kitchen lights were fed from. Couldn't get them back on, and then I worked through my ring mains, and I just come back here, look, and he's put a fuse spur there with a 3 amp fuse in it. So at least he's done that. So it's the kitchen lights are fed off the kitchen ring main, which isn't great, but you know, isn't the worst, because I've now found this fuse spur that is controlling them with a 3 amp fuse, so it's perfectly fine. May as well come with me because I'm on my own now. It's a bit scary on my own. So we are doing garden room single socket. If you remember this socket, I think I showed you this earlier. Had some dodgy sleeving on there. James kindly sorted that out for me. Obviously I checked his work after. So all we're doing now is going to do, because this is a 1 socket, it's literally back entry, so you can do your guess on the loop test. What do you think it's going to be? Not very high at all. I reckon 0.29. Oh, 0.28. Oh god, did I do it for the money, you know? What a minging fun that is. Put these on now. Well, I've been doing it for months now, but luckily I did. I went back to a job and this was all ripped off, and the plumber had been in and connected a circuit into my board, eh? Yeah, I used to put these on, but I don't like them anymore, to be honest. So we're all labelled up, and then what I'll do is, obviously that's not very specific, and CP fuse box, you need to make one for hob rather than just oven. You need a little hob there, so I'm missing one, so I'll have to write hob on that, or I've got a new label maker actually. You know, the new ones that have just come out, well, they're cheaper now, so I'll put hob on there, and then what I'll do is I'll print the sheet 5 off. I think it's 5, where it breaks down the whole DB schedule on here, and I'll bring that and I'll put that with here, and then there's the SPD stuff up there anyway. So this one is now ding dang done.